Here's a great question from Charlie Thrower. Mr. Prichard, whatever happened to the Event Center with Sean Mooney or Mean Gene? Why did it leave? And could it come back in some fashion in today's environment?
No. Oh, the Event Center, that is one thing that, I'm kind of proud of. It was revolutionary at the time.
Hell yeah.
The interviews had been done for years and years on the road, where Gene and the talent would go to a hotel and spend all day doing market-specific interviews. So let's say you had a sheet for the Magnificent Morocco, and he's working with all these guys, all these different towns. Morocco would come in. Morocco would have 2 hours. You would get all Morocco's interviews done for the day. Then right behind that, maybe his opponents, whatever. So they would do this like every day on the road. So Gene and Howard would work all day during the day doing the interviews, and then we'd go have a live event that night. Very costly, not the best way to do it as far as just efficiency and everything else. So the Event Center was a brainchild of mine in trying to just consolidate everything. And instead of having Morocco do 30 interviews for 30 different markets for the same opponent, Morocco would do one interview for that opponent, and Mean Gene or Sean Mooney would do the connective tissue.
Yes.
Hey, Huntsville, we're going to be coming to the Von Braun Civic Center this Saturday night. You're not going to want to miss it. Standing by right now, the magnificent Morocco, as he is going to tell us about his upcoming match with a former friend and an ally, Cowboy Bob Orton. Don? That's mean, then you'd go to Don and come back. And, whoa! Strong words from Don Morocco. Cowboy Bob Orton. We'll be talking to him a little bit later on in the show, but right now, oh my goodness, Hulk Hogan is standing by because he'll also be right here in Huntsville at the Von Braun Civic Center. Well, let me tell you something, brother. And it eliminated
so much
having to do all that. And so we got this technology, it was big time. It's called Ultimat. So, they just call it a green screen now because, well, it's a green screen or a blue screen or whatever it is. But it used to be, it was chroma key and it was green. You would stand there. That's how they did the weather shit, right?
Yep.
Weather people really utilized it first and best. Then the Ultimat was either blue and or green. All right. Because if you wore green on a green screen Ultimat, you just see right through it. Or blue on a blue screen. So we had one of each. We had a blue and a green. And we could make customized backgrounds for every single talent. So Morocco would have a custom background whenever he was doing his promo. That would be different than Hulk Hogan's. It would be different than the King Harley Races. It would be different than Junkyard Dog. And they would do it, and you would just sit there and go, okay, I need a 30-second on JYD. Okay, JYD and Harley are working this week. Okay, I need a 30 on JYD versus Harley. JYD does one 30-second promo that'll go to 60 markets.
Yep.
And save time, save money, and just was so much more efficient because you could bring Gene in for 2 days in the studio. He could knock him out. Sean Mooney was there. Sean could knock out his in the next 2 days, and everything was done. And it was just it was kind of a no-brainer. It was one of those that you kind of thought afterwards, how did nobody ever think of this before? And I wanted those Ultimate screens so bad. I thought they were so cool when they demonstrated them to us, and I was like, yeah, let's get 2 of those. And that's what we did.
So who do you think liked that change more, the talent or the agents who had to produce all of these, like the wrestlers and the talent? Like, it just feels like from a production standpoint, the agenting stand, like everybody has to be thrilled with this. This is such a time saver, no?
Yeah, it is. I mean, the producers, the agent producers, they still spent time with the talent, just not nearly as much.
Yes.
And it was something that you could do at TV. So over 2 days of TV, you could get 3 weeks worth of interviews from all the talent. So it saved so much wear and tear on the talent and the producers and everybody else, as well as the production people. It added production time because you had to edit all those things together. But that outweighed the wear and tear and travel and just everything else that went with the old way that we used to do it. And I think that the talent loved it. I think the producers loved it. Howard Finkel, I don't think was crazy about it, because then Howard didn't get to go on the road as much and get his air mile points. He loved his air mile points.
Really?
Oh yeah. Howard was a gimmick, man. Howard liked his frequent flyer miles, and Howard liked his extra points that he would get for whatever. When they started doing points on your credit card.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He would shop and go, well, if I use this credit card here, I'm going to save 30 cents on a cup of coffee. Almost free. Wow. So Fink was a gimmick, man. He everything was a gimmick to him. Everything was, what could he get free? And frequent flyer miles were a big thing because he would travel every day when he was producing the interviews on the road. And then he would take his vacation at the end of the year, and everything was paid for. His hotel was paid for. His airfare was paid for. Everything was paid for.
Hey, let's talk about gimmicks. You talked about Howard Finkel being a gimmick. Austin 72316 says, when a wrestler has a prop like Hacksaw's 2x4 or Boss Man's nightstick, do those guys travel with sets of the show, or would Hacksaw, for example, have to go to a hardware store each night and get a board?
Well, that would depend on the talent. That would depend on the time frame. You know, Hacksaw Jim Duggan used to scour the backstage areas looking for 2x4s every night, and try and find a 2x4, and then try and find somebody in maintenance to cut his 2x4 for him. So they could be dirty, filthy, disgusting, never know where the hell they were, but that's the 2x4 that he would use for that night. So Hack didn't carry his 2x4.
Why wouldn't you just put one on a ring truck?
That's where I was going.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Then later on, we realized that we could just get a bunch of 2x4s and put them in a little area of the ring truck. And then that got to be, you know, for any unusual gimmick that may need to travel. But like the Boss Man's nightstick, you stick that in your luggage.
I can imagine in TSA how that might get some looks.
Well, this was before.
I know that.
There was a time before there was a TSA.
I'm aware.
Where you didn't even have to go through a metal detector.
What would be the weirdest thing you think a guy in modern wrestling in a TSA era? So we'll call it 01 to now, just the last 20 years. What would be the weirdest thing you think that someone has seen in a wrestler's backpack as it went through? That was a part of their wrestling persona.
Oh.
There's got to be something.
Frenchie Martin used to carry a lot of dildos and stuff, and he would go through and he would like flip his bag and like have it
spill out.
And qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh my God, madame, is this yours? I don't think this one is mine. He loved that rip. But wow, I can't think of any. I know that when William Regal was using brass knucks every night, he would carry them in his bag, and yeah, they would they would question that.
That's not legal everywhere. That's illegal.
Oh, those are illegal.
Yeah.
Most wear.
Yeah. Most wear.
Yeah.
So how did he explain it? I'm an actor.
Yeah, it's my gimmick.
Yeah.
You'd be shocked.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, that's my gimmick, man.
So wait a minute. Are you suggesting that if one of our listeners is traveling with brass knuckles,
just tell them it's your gimmick.
So you can't have these. Oh no, I'm allowed. It's my gimmick.
No, you don't understand.
It's my gimmick.
Man. I need this. That's my finish.
I'm sure that'll work just fine.